everybody. Did you miss us? We missed you, although we just couldn't get it together for last week. So
Why?
I don't know. There's
so many more reasons why.
So here's the thing. Is that Arthur? That's Arthur. No one knows who Arthur is, but I'm just having all these visuals of Arthur at the moment. Anyway, we're happy to be back. Sorry we weren't here last week. We are so grateful to all of the little messages that we got kind of saying, hey, we know if you can't do it, it's good. You need to focus on you guys. And definitely a lot of things going on, a lot of updates. One of which, as you might see, the growth, that lovely ganglion cyst that I had is gone. On that note, I actually, I have my follow-up appointment is tomorrow's mammogram, Wednesday's. Yeah, I think Wednesday. I think is my my follow up for this. So, so this is done, and I will tell you, special thanks to Jennifer Ross because even as
right,
even as of the last minute, Eric was going to be going to the surgery with me. You have to have someone with you because you can't drive home and. Eric kept saying he could do it. I kept saying, no, you can't, no, you can't, no, you can't. So we had the little, wife-husband kind of fight back and forth. And I won because he acknowledged and admitted that he was not going to be in a condition to take me and sit with me and get me home. So last minute, I called our dear friend, spill my coffee, Jen Ross, who graciously filled in getting me to the hospital at 5:45 a.m. What? Sat with me. And I will tell you, it was a lot bigger ordeal than I thought it was going to be. First of all of this is in perspective to what we've got going over there with that one.
And the other thing we've gone on. So.
But when I went, I thought this was a little, a quick surgery. Like I literally thought I could go in my regular clothes. I'll sit down. They'll kind of like numb me up. I'll look the other way. They'll cut, they'll pull it out. They'll stitch it up, bandage it up. I can look and then we'll leave. But I knew something was up as soon as we went in and they're like, okay, can you, take your clothes off and put the gown on? And I'm like, what? And then they did the IV and then they said it was general anesthesia. So I was like, holy crap. So it was a lot more involved than I thought it was going to be. So anyone out there with a little ganglion cyst, your experience may not be the same as mine. I did fully expect it to be like a local anesthesia, but it ended up not being. Not really sure why. I know mine was pretty big, but obviously not the biggest there was. Anyway, but it's healing nicely. I actually held off wrapping it as long as I could this morning to show you guys. But, show and tell day. But then I was like, it kind of hurts still to not be protected because there's still stitches in there. So anyway, so that's good. Also, last week we had insanity because our daughter, Allie, had to go to the emergency room herself at 2 o'clock in the morning. So she was in the hospital for 3 days, 3 days, something like that. It's hard to think when you go at 2 o'clock in the morning. She's fine. She's back home with baby, but Mimi was called into duty. I obviously accepted. It was a little nerve wracking. So with everything else going on, it was just, poor Allie was going through her own things. And this was happening. And then like, if things couldn't just get more frustrating. So, okay, let's just admit it. I've had some meltdowns. Okay. We've seen that. Okay. We've had them here.
Yeah, but I will say you've been entitled to 15 meltdowns. You've had 2.
Okay, well, maybe. But there was a day like I was just so exhausted and it's hard. You keep going. You're trying to work. You're trying to take care of Eric. You're trying to do this. You're trying to order the groceries. You're trying to do this. You're trying to find what he'll eat, but which is nothing, by the way. Spoiler alert. And it was just one of those days. I was like, okay, so it was Tuesday night. I had to take the trash cans out. So I take the trash cans out and one of them is so heavy, it goes off the curb and it lands on my foot. And when I say my foot, I mean my pinky toe. So my little baby pinky toe was screaming and it was the kind of pain where you automatically want to throw up. It was that painful. So it's still sore. I can move it. But so as I come in from that, I'm crying, I'm losing it, my toe is throbbing. I'm like, I just want some coffee and I just want to go up into the media room and sit down and watch something and just kind of escape what's happening. And I kid you not, guys, I go to make a cup of coffee. I take the carafe part, or whatever you call it, the little bucket part. I put it down and it shatters on my kitchen island. So white flag. Okay, white flag on Amy's part. Anyway, with that, I will say.
And during that time, we had a hurricane come.
Well, in that time, we had a hurricane. That's just a little side story.
But let's go to that side story.
Let's go to
that's kind of the
Are
big
you
news
pushing
today.
it? So, yeah, let's throw into all of this, shall we? A hurricane. So now I will tell you, first of all, this has done some horrific, terrible, devastating damage to places that are not us. Now there are places, in Florida that were affected, but look, if you just follow the news, if you scroll and you see those devastating pictures of poor North Carolina, I mean, oh my gosh. But this just goes to show you, we live in Central Florida. Our schools closed. Orange County's closed their schools a couple days ahead of time in preparation for this. Everybody was prepped and ready. Again, when you live where we live in Central Florida, it is very rare that you're going to get, it's going to hit one side. It's either going to hit the East Coast or it's going to hit the Gulf Coast. And that's where it'll make the landfall. And by the time it gets to you, it's usually diminished to some extent. However, for us, seriously, for us, we had a little bit of rain and a little bit of wind. We never had anything that was major. We have typical, summer afternoon thunderstorms that were more violent than what we ended up getting from this hurricane. However, that being said, look how far in that hurricane went and how much damage it caused even after it had made landfall.
And I mean, Asheville, North Carolina, if you have prayers to spare.
Oh my God, please send it to them.
Oh my God. It's just, puts it all in perspective. And then so we talked about our daughter in the hospital, me being sick, you having surgery, hurricane coming. We had another family member that's out of town now.
Yes. So Steele is actually, that is not a picture of Steele, by the way, but Steele is out with the National Guard. If you remember, he was in the Army. He's out of the Army. He's now in the National Guard. And he was called out to serve. So doing some hurricane cleanup or whatever the various activities are that they need him to do in the wake of this. He's been gone for a few days and will be gone for a few more, I think. But my goodness, seriously, we're kind of just seriously, this is like a reality show. Our life is like a reality show.
Shout out to Forrest, who was having the siding replaced in his house because it was a hailstorm that damaged his siding.
Yes.
So he had sidingless house while this rain's coming.
Yes.
So pretty much every member of the family is affected in some way, but none as much as people in Asheville.
No. So we are thinking about you all of. In fact, it was right before we went live here. I was actually scrolling. A friend of ours, from our old performing days, had shared a post with just a bunch of pictures from Asheville, North Carolina. It really is. It's really devastating. So
Jen Ross joined us late.
I see
so
Jen Ross.
Seen your shout out.
Jen Ross. If you just joined, you have to go back to the very beginning because I gave a big shout out. So all of you that we were just talking about this a minute ago. So Jen Ross, where is she? Let me put her beautiful picture back up. So this is the angel that took me to the hospital to sit with me and take care of me, got my medication, and so she's an angel. So she's the sweetest thing ever. So grateful that that she's here. And she's also the one that owns Let's Dance. And so she is the amazing dance teacher that that helps all of the kids in our area that want to take dance with some after school activities, and has a wonderful program there. So Jen, so if you didn't see it, I gave you a big shout out in the beginning. So rolled it back, my friend.
And next week we will share with you that her husband has written a new book.
Yes, we will. That's exciting. Yeah, we're excited about that. All right. So we haven't really got to what's brewing yet because I just wanted to start out. We got this. We kind of went over a few things. But before we do, here's my mug. It says calmness. And I would like to thank, this will go later on when we have another little segment, but thank you, Crystal Juliana, for this amazing mug.
Holy moly.
And we'll go over some of that. But this is what I need. I think we're going to do some meditation. I think I need to start including that into my life. I don't know when I'll do it, but we'll put it in there. Anyway, so let's go to what's brewing, shall we? Okay, so now that we're into the show, we're going to go over these brewing topics. So yes, we have lots of updates. We have Eric update, FOMO, and cast of characters. The biggest one, I know the one that is most pressing, is the Eric update. And guys, he is with us today. He is, you want to come over to you?
Hi.
Yay.
I'll turn my mic on. Hi.
There he is. He's here.
It's me, the Crypt Keeper. How are you? So I don't really like showing up on camera because as I come up the stairs, I pass a picture of us and Daryl and Jen.
Yeah. And
I was kind of fat, but boy, it wasn't nice to be fat because now I'm just not. And boy, oh boy, I have these amazing cheekbones. My God. But geez, what a way to have to reveal them. Now I can almost see through them. Anyway, hey, how's it going?
Yeah. So
what was on that list of let's
go to your update. So what, do we have an update?
There's a button there.
Oh yeah, there is an update there.
So
Eric
what's
update.
happening? What's it say?
So we have insurance denial.
Oh yeah, so there's that. So we'll come back to this. So here's the thing. Before you get your
panties in a knot,
your pitchforks and torches, which we appreciate.
No, I got them.
Aetna denied my liver transplant care at the Mayo Clinic, but it's not their fault. 40 days ago, when it was submitted to them, they knew that Mayo did not accept my insurance. Mayo didn't accept the insurance, so you can't expect them to do that. So I don't know why there was a 40-day delay to finally tell us, oh yeah, by the way, we don't accept your insurance. But the good news is, there is a liver transplant person here. They're just at Advent Health. We tend to go to Orlando Health. But so it's in the works to get referred to that person. So that's a good thing. What was the next update? So don't be mad at Aetna.
That I'm ticked off.
Well, I mean, I'm a little upset with Mayo, but.
Well, the thing is that it seems like in this situation where when the Mayo Clinic is referring to you, to Eric, as a priority patient, like anytime we had communication with them, you're a priority patient. Well, the priority patient, why would you not have in the very beginning known that Mayo Clinic didn't take our insurance? And here's my other question. I don't really know how, I know how insurance works, but there's some, in-depth details that I'm not sure. If in our health network, all the doctors that we've been seeing thus far are in our network. If the person in our network is referring us to someone else, why would we not assume they are also in our network?
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know. And it's okay. Bottom line is, essentially, in my mind, I'm ticked off because we've wasted a lot of time, right? There's an entire month that we were sitting here waiting for approval with no treatment, nothing happening to help Eric feel better, be better, get better, do better. It was just waiting for insurance. Finally, I called and I lost it. One of my meltdowns was with the people on the insurance with Aetna. And, it just kept saying pending. Well, explain to me, why does it say pending?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
When I finally called them and said, look, I'm just trying to verify what's going on here because my liver doctor here said it was denied because of they didn't want to cover it because I got a little cancer in there mixed in. So he thought they denied it because of that. So I called and then they go, oh yeah, sorry, it says here we don't accept your insurance. So we should have told you that. Aces. Thanks. Hey, what was second on the list? What was the second thing?
I'm just mad. I'm just mad. Dr. Shuffle?
Yeah, so that was the thing we were talking about, was the Dr. Shuffle, was that hopefully maybe going to hear from Advent Health this week to go there. And then the last thing on the list, obviously, is starting chemo.
We don't know when yet.
Right. I have an appointment with the cancer doctor on Friday. So I don't know if they're going to say then Monday go over. I have to do a stress test and some other stuff that are still prescribed to me. I don't know if I have to do those before I do that. So I'm going to try to get this done this week, I guess. But anyway, it's so that's not my favorite thing that I ever heard. I've discussed with some people that, my hair is about 12 to 15% of my personality. So if I do lose my hair, I'll probably adopt a foreign accent of some kind just to keep it jazzy, keep it light. Here's the thing. I'm feeling pretty good. I actually, in the mornings, I feel great. My wife is phenomenal. Where you're looking at behind her is her bedroom. she's been sleeping up here with the dogs because just it helps me get like a decent night's sleep. Usually by the end of the day, I'm pretty tired. So I'm feeling really good, and I'm feeling a lot of love from everywhere, and I'm trying to send a lot of love everywhere. Please, Amy's going to talk about it when we talk about our cup being full, because it is. Please don't send us things. You don't feel like you have to send us things, but oh my God, the people that have, and the people that have sent messages, and the people that have sent I mean, just I can feel it. Like, and I think Amy can feel it. Can you feel it? Mm-hmm. And I just feel like Lou Gehrig. Oh, sorry. I feel like, when Lou Gehrig announced that, he was had a terrible disease, and he said, "Today I feel like the luckiest man in the world." I actually do. I totally get it. And so the update on me is I'm pretty tired all the time, having trouble eating solid food. Some of that is a saliva thing, but mostly I just feel love, and it's a weird thing to say, but I'm really grateful for it. So thanks. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Because I vowed not to cry on this one.
Let's do some breaking news.
I am pinching myself so I don't cry. You want to do breaking news?
I don't actually know what screen's going to come up now. What?
It's me and you.
Okay, cool. Hi. Look at that. Can you see that? So this is Amy, is a top 50 agent for another year in Orlando out of 24,000 agents. We got this plaque because she couldn't go to the award ceremony because
life.
Yeah, because of all this other crap.
Yeah.
But anyway, so hey, congratulations, honey.
Thank you.
I would tell you because she wouldn't have mentioned it, so I had to mention it. But
yeah, actually, I appreciate Jennifer Hansen at our brokerage, Preferred Real Estate Brokers, was kind enough. They went, there's always this big event. I'm not a big event person. It is nothing personal. We are in our real day-to-day lives, very low key, very to ourselves, very cuddled up in our own little cocoon when we are not out and about, like doing work-related things. I'm just not like a networker person. Like, I don't like to do those things. And even though that was a really nice event, and it is fantastic that they put things like that together, we are very, very, very grateful and appreciative of that. It puts me out of my comfort zone quite a bit. And to be honest, I'm usually so stinking busy that I just don't have extra time. And that isn't relaxing to me. To me, that is another work-related event. But I do appreciate it. And I did go last year. I went. Eric and I both went. And so I've been. I know what it's like. As it was, we got our own table and sat kind of off to the side. But yeah, thanks to Jennifer Hansen for going to pick that up for me and getting that. I guess actually she took it back to the office. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so that is that's part of that update. That was breaking news. Our second brewing topic is FOMO.
Hey, by the way, can I just for fear of missing out? Also,
yes,
my ticker isn't working today to remind you to put a Q if you have a question.
Okay.
So we're getting to the real estate part, but by the way, we're not shy. If you have questions about anything, ganglion cysts, liver cancer, the National Guard, siding falling off the house, our daughter having to deal with
pretty soon low-fat recipes as well as low cholesterol recipes. So I told our family we're going on a whole health thing. We have to between
Elizabeth's microwave blew up and they're there to replace it today. Air conditioner not been working very well, so she's over there. If you have questions about anything personal, we'll answer those too. As you can tell, we're not shy.
We are not shy. It is.
If you want to know how to maintain beautiful high cheekbones, I'm here for you.
Okay, I'm glad you're back in humor. Just so you know, when this is over, he is going to collapse in that bed, and that's where he will be the rest of the day. So I'm glad that you're up and you're giving us as much of your true self as you can, sweetheart. Showbiz, folks. All right. Anyway, FOMO. FOMO is the fear of missing out. Now, this is a very, very, very real thing, and it's understandable. It is manageable. But you have to acknowledge that it exists And for instance, so if you're out and about, we're looking at homes, whether it's with us or whether it's elsewhere, there's a condition that some people have called FOMO, and it's the fear of missing out. So, for instance, and this is an example, and this is not a negative thing. This is simply an example, because remember, my job is to help you find your home. My job is to help you find the home that you want, that feels like it's the place that you're going to live and continue to grow and thrive and whatever the case may be. But the other reason that you reach out to a realtor is to get rid of a lot of the nonsense, because there's a lot of nonsense listings out there that might at first glance look like they could be a potential good option for you. But when you're living from out of state, maybe you don't really know the area, the location, the community, the builder, things like that. That's one of the reasons that you, all of you, reach out to a realtor in the first place, hopefully, right? Is that you want their expertise and their knowledge of the area. You want them to weed out that nonsense so that the homes that ultimately you view are homes that both, you have looked at, that you have seen, okay, well, this checks off a lot of boxes, and then receive some of that input from your agent. Let's just say, remember, as realtors, we're not allowed to steer you to or from anything, right? So if you want to go see a home, we're going to go show you a home. If you want to be in an area, we're going to go show you an area. But the other part of it is when people are specifically like, hey, my daughter lives in, X, elementary school, and she's only in the second grade, and we want to stay in that school district. So then that means we have to kind of target things in. Well, that's a little bit off the course here, but what I'm trying to say is, so if you're coming in and we limit the homes, we, see, 10 homes-ish, something like that, that should be a really good number. Now, that doesn't mean you have to like those 10 homes. You don't have to buy one of those 10 homes. In fact, sometimes what happens is that when you see those 10 homes that have checked off the boxes for area, location, price point, bed bath count, yard, things like that, many times you get there and you're like, I really do wish I had more space, or I really don't think that this is, I wonder what else I can get. Let me, maybe if I go a little bit further, maybe I thought this area was super great. Maybe it feels too busy. So maybe I should scoot out of town a little bit. These are all true, valid, reasonable, normal things to have happen. However, in your throes of FOMO, fear of missing out, you may be losing the home that we find that is perfect for you. And this happens often. I tell all of my clients, I am not pushy. I am not going to hound you. I am not going to follow up with you every single day. If you called and you reached out, you filled out a wish list, and we just got things started, and you're like, I'm thinking about moving, probably won't be till after the first of the year. I am not going to call you every week. Are you moving yet? Are you moving yet? Are you moving yet? That's just not who I am as a person. And I am a firm believer, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I do not want someone bugging me every minute about something that is that big a decision. I want to know they're there for me. I want to know I have them in my back pocket, and I know they're my person, but I'll reach out when I'm ready. So, we'll reach out back and forth. So a lot of times I think I tell people, I will tell you when time is of the essence. So we have found a beautiful home. It checks off everything and more on a wish list, but not ready to pull the trigger yet. And so now we are reaching further out, looking at other options, which are good, but it's based on the initial conversation. Those other places that we're now looking are not filling in what those original wishes were. But it's hard because you think, well, I feel like I should see everything. And that is normal, right? Again, you're spending $500,000 or more on a property. You want to make sure that you're being thoughtful about your decision, that you haven't just on a whim chosen one. But please also know that you have a realtor there to help you for that very reason. We're helping you weed out that nonsense, weed out that graffiti, right? Weed out that other stuff that kind of is going to take possession and it's going to, set up shop in your head. And it's not going to be a viable option, but it's making the decision process a little bit more difficult for you. So anyway, FOMO, fear of missing out. Understand that is normal. Understand that could be a thing, but do not miss the perfect option that is right in front of you for the fear of missing out and wanting to see 30 other properties that are further away and not giving you exactly what it is that you said you wanted. Normal, but just make sure that you understand that it happens. Okay. Yes, sir.
You have a question from Tracy. She just wants to know if you replaced the coffee carafe. And also, you got a text from somebody that's watching right now. You know who you are. Talk about her own battle with cancer.
Aww.
And that she lost her taste and saliva, and that hasn't come back yet. And so she just offered if I ever want to talk to anybody or anything. So
stop.
Again,
stop.
The usual.
Stop.
We love you.
I can't stand
it.
I'm not crying.
Okay.
In this one.
We'll move on.
This is not going to be just a blubber fest.
Okay, but thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And you said, Tracy?
She just wanted to know if you replaced the coffee carafe.
Oh, yes, Tracy, I did. But here's the thing. Okay, so this is my life. So I have an old one. So I pulled it out and I used it, but it just, it was nasty. So it was gross. And I was like, no, I'm just throwing that away. Because here's the thing. I know that technology is cool, and I know that there are these fancy coffee makers, and there are these buttons, and there's these whisks, and I need a water well. I need a thing for, please, just a normal filter that I don't have to order off of Amazon that I can get anywhere, and I need to have clearly marked water lines. That's all I need. I don't need the fancy, but I do need auto turn off, because I will turn it on in the morning. I'll make my coffee. I'll go back down. Maybe I'll top it off, and then I'm done. And every other coffee pot that I've had the auto turn off. So I ordered I didn't even order it. I bought a new one. This is my fault. This is on me. I actually went to Walmart. Yes, I did. Every time I'm not going back.
Do not recommend.
Do not recommend. I did go to Walmart and I got a coffee pot, but daggone it, it's not auto turn off. So now I have to remind myself to one more thing I have to remember to do. So anyway, yes, I have a new coffee pot. It is fine. But now I have to replace it again. This will become my backup, I guess. And the new one I have to make sure has auto turn off. Anyway, so all right, let's go on to our third topic, which is cast of characters. So as always, now this is something, guys, that we have actually discussed before, but Eric has made a new open for this, so I'm gonna do this because it's maybe something that we reference back to.
It's
so
silly,
ow, it hurt. Okay. The lender. Sorry, I was looking down here. I was trying to read the things. The lender. Okay, so our cast of characters. So like I said, Eric made this cute little opening. As usual, he exerts too much energy for something that we don't need, but that's okay. All right, so cast of characters. We have talked about this before, but it happened again. So as any good mom, as any good teacher will do, I'm going to mention it again. All right, everybody, when we submit an offer on a property, you are my buyer, my client, we're looking to purchase a home. In our offer, we have a cast of characters. There's obviously the buyer, which is you. There's the buyer's agent, which in this case, we'll say it's me. There's us. There's also your lender, because your lender, unless it's cash, your lender is going to be a player in our little transaction. On the seller side, we have the seller, the seller's agent, the title company. Okay. Now, when we submit an offer as the buyers, we are submitting the purchase agreement, the as-is purchase agreement for this property. We are also submitting all of the signed disclosures that may be relevant to this property, whether it is a CDD or an HOA disclosure, whether it is the seller's property disclosure, whether it's a disclosure for an older person's 55 plus community. I hate that they say that, housing for older people, 55 is not that old. I say, as it's in my rearview mirror. Anyway, all of those disclosures are submitted with the offer. But do you know what else is submitted as a part of our offer? Is your pre-approval letter from your lender. Please note, it's not just any pre-approval. That lender who is attached to that pre-approval letter is now part of our offer. Yes, that matters. It matters, guys. You cannot change lenders willy-nilly and not make sure that all other people in our show are aware. So this has happened again where a client did not know, they didn't think about it, they were shopping rates. Of course. By the way, you can change lenders. We're not saying that you can't. We're saying that you can't just do so without making sure that everybody else is on board. Because, for instance, if we submit an offer, and then I'll just go into this particular scenario without giving names. We submit an offer with a lender, a pre-approval. We submit an offer with a pre-approval letter from our lender, and the sellers do not have a contingency to sell their existing home. That pre-approval letter says you do not need to sell your existing home in order to close on your new home. However, in our offer, we said, hey, but will you give us 60 days to try to get it under contract? Because we'd really like to not have to pay 2 mortgages. We would love to, to be able to remove that contingency if possible. So they agreed, all right? The seller agreed for our offer, for our pre-approval with our lender that says we're not contingent, but that they were just giving us a nice courtesy to give us some time to try to get it under contract. Now, the buyers have decided to change lenders down the road. Again, not a problem, except you can't just do it willy-nilly. So now we're further into the process. I had no idea they changed lenders. Obviously, the sellers had no idea they changed lenders. We're getting down to the time where our contingency is about to run out, so we're tying up any of these loose ends. Find out the lender has been changed. Well, in the course of this, financial things have happened to the family, and it was just an oopsie. But, kid going back off to college, mom fills out a rental application, ding, 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 ding. What happens when you fill out a rental application? They pull your credit. So this is now going to be part of their history if someone is looking. And this new lender now doesn't give them a pre-approval without that contingency to sell. So we've kind of made a little bit of a mess for ourselves. Now, in hindsight, everything is fine. Everything got worked out. Nobody's mad. It's just information for you. If you are looking to purchase a home, please understand that cast of characters includes your lender. And you know what? There are times when someone will or will not accept an offer based on who that lender is and what that pre-approval looks like. So you need to understand that they are a vital part of your offer. And on that note, make sure you have a good lender. There are a dime a dozen just there as there are realtors, but not all of them are worth that 10 cents. That was good. You like that?
Yeah. We have dogs that are now deciding they want to play.
That's all right. We gave them treats so they'd be good. Anyway, so there we go. That was our cast of characters. Your lender is a part of your offer. Don't change them without letting your agent know and making sure that we do our due diligence, because we sometimes have to do addendums to say, hey, we're changing our lender here, or we're changing loan structures.
Hey, we got a lot of people watching today.
We do have a lot of people watching.
I'm gonna make a little appeal.
Go for it.
No. Some of us are not doing too well these days. And if you could just like and subscribe the stream. Sorry, I was trying to be a true YouTuber there. It didn't work. Hey, like and subscribe though, because we'd appreciate that. That helps us a lot if you would like the stream. Since there's a lot of you watching to see my glorious cheekbones. Appreciate it. What else you got going on? What's on your list?
Well, I think that was all of our brewing topics, right? What I do have though is let's go to the market update, because we did not do this last week. Okay, what's happening? What's happening to my? Is it this site? Okay, hold on. Did I get it?
I'll call in the hair department.
Jeez, I know. I need a whole. I need everything. Okay. So, I got glasses on because I can't read it. So this is the market update. Yeah. Remember, we did not do this last week. So this is a 2-week. Is that correct? So this is 2 weeks. So now here's the thing to note. Some of the big differences is that we went from 34 days to 25 days. That's a big jump for the absorption rate. If you take a look, however, at the actives, this is going to be telling. There's only 134 active, 178 active as of 2 weeks ago. So you can see that that's where a lot of this number is changing. Now, what that means is if you look where we are now, 134 active. And again, guys, this is 34787. This is not everywhere. This isn't our little nugget that we call Disney's backyard. Excuse me. But this is also the time of year that we always talk about that it is pre-holiday season. Some of you it is holiday season because I've seen your decorations up for all sorts of holidays. Some that aren't even in the right month yet. Well, obviously because we're close to October. That's fine, but there's some other ones. Okay, but I'm not going to complain because I got fall stuff all around my house, so I will refrain. But this is the time of year when people think twice about whether or not they want to put their home on the market. Some people, it doesn't matter, but there's a lot of people that, they do. They're thinking about Thanksgiving. They're thinking about Christmas. They're thinking about that. Do they host their families at their home? Do they want to be dealing with the holiday season and decorations being up while their home is on the market and people are coming in and out? So this is typically, even here in Florida, you start to see a little bit of dip in the activity. And I always say that really just assume that once the kids go back to school, it starts to everybody's like sprinting, and then it kind of goes to a very slow jog. And at this point, people are just walking, and they're not doing the fast walking. They're just slowly walking. So that's one of the big differences. Are you going to say something? What happened?
Amy, I left my microphone on the other side of the table.
Oh.
But here, yeah, thank you. I'm here on the other side of the table. Two things of breaking news. Look down through your scroll, find Kim Sokolsky's comment, or she has seen a large alligator.
I just saw something
in her backyard. She got some gator water back there.
Gator water.
She got gator water.
Gator water. Oh
so,
my gosh.
Thinking of you. Send us a picture if you can.
Yeah, send us a picture.
But also, you got a text from Stephen Klein.
Yes.
Today is the last day of D.R. Horton's fiscal year.
Yes.
So what he said without saying it is, tomorrow they're not going to give a damn about you.
Yeah.
Today they might give you some serious incentive.
Right. So, that's actually good information because I do have a client interested in Edgemont, and So I mean, they're not going to, they're not going to give a house away, but if there's one that is completed and ready, they might like
It'll be today.
It'll be today. Today's the day. And then yes, as of tomorrow, forget it. They don't care. But yeah, that's good. Stephen Klein works with D.R. Horton. He worked with a different builder, worked many times with him, lots of people with him. But yeah, he works with D.R. Horton. So it's nice to get those inside scoops and those notes and those reminders. And that, my friends, is why it is important to have a realtor that actually works and that has those kind of connections, because I'm not going to keep in my brain when is D.R. Horton's fiscal year. I mean, I have it, but I'm not going to retain it. That's really great to be able to have those little messages to be sent out. So anyway, all right, let's move on. Let's go to the scoop. Okay, so before we go to this, I will say we did not have an alligator in our backyard last night, but we did have a big turtle. So the dogs were out, and this was before it got dark, and I was like, I'll take them out one more time, because I don't like taking them out when it's dark, because they tend to run, and it just scares me. But last night, I was like, okay, well, it's still light outside. I'll go ahead and let them go outside and go potty again. And, you let them go out and do their business. But Daisy has that alert bark, we just like a baby's cry, dogs have different barks. And so I was like, okay, there's something going on out there. So she and Penny were both like at something. So I went out, there's a turtle. Now, I don't know how that turtle got into our yard. No idea. It was way too big to get through our fence. So I'm a little bit confused. But anyway, so
what happened? Did you have someone manly that could take care of it?
I did have someone manly. I called our neighbor, and I'm just kidding.
Wow.
No. Just kidding. No, I did. I was like, and I don't like to touch things, but I'm not as freaked out by turtles as others, but it was a pretty big turtle. And I was trying to coerce it to get on the shovel, and then I was going to shovel it out and kind of let it go. But finally Eric came out. He put on gloves, and oh my gosh, Kim, that's the alligator from Kim Sokolsky. Kim, that's a biggin. That's a biggin. I mean, yeah, let's put that, take that gator back. That's gator water. That's gator water. Okay. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so Eric moved the turtle. Anyway, I was doing the scoop. So hold on, I gotta go back. I have to do the whole scoop thing again. Oh my God. Okay, so hold on. I got to show you this real quick too. So Susan Forsgren and Matthew. Oh my God, they're watching. I love it. Susan, you are the best. Every day Susan is like, are you ready for me to come yet? Are you ready for me to come yet? Are you ready for me to come yet? And yes, but Susan is my standby person who's going to come in and help out. Now that we don't have to go to the Mayo Clinic in Jacksonville and everything's done in Orlando, that sure as heck helps us out tremendously. But yes, Susan, I need you to come though when I have a couple days to like melt down and we can have therapy sessions. So hang tight. You're going to be here soon. All right. So scoop. All right. Lockbox debacle. So it's not really it is a debacle. So in the course of all of the National Association of Realtors with the NAR changes, nationwide about buyers, agents, and sellers and commissions and concessions and all of that mess. The exact same time, the Orlando Realtor Association decided they were going to switch lockboxes on us. So this is what we currently use, which is this blue Supra lockbox. It's almost like a safe. In fact, it is a safe that is activated by Bluetooth, that is activated by an app on your phone. Only if you are a realtor, you pay for the service, you're in good standing. That's the only way you can access these. And that's what I use. They're scattered all around on all of my listings. Well, at that time, they've decided to switch to something called Sentry Key. And it's just a hot mess. So if you look in the bottom right hand, now this is a typical coded lockbox. You can get these from Lowe's or Home Depot. By the way, little like tip, if you did not know that these types of lockboxes exist, you can always for yourself. Okay, so for instance, do you know, like when I was young and I had my car, my granddaddy gave me one of those little magnetic boxes that you would stick up underneath your fender. Do you remember those? And you'd slide it and there'd be an emergency spare key in there. Do you remember those? Was it just me? I'm old, I know. But I remember that, always having a spare key to my car kind of up underneath. So you can't buy a Supra lockbox, but you could get a coded lockbox, create your own code. They're very easy to install, very easy to program, and you could add one of those to like a spigot or somewhere on your house or around your property, kind of hidden, just in case there was ever an emergency for yourself. That's just a little bit of info. But the lockbox debacle it's just getting a little bit more and more frustrating. So now instead of having one membership to Supra, I have two memberships to Supra, and then I have to pay for another service for Sentry Key so that I can access those lock boxes. The kicker of this is that the Orlando realtors are the only ones that have switched to Sentry Key. So if you're in any of the other surrounding areas in Florida as a realtor still able to show, buy, and sell properties for your clients, you still use Supra. So it's kind of a hot mess. What the flippity flip is going on? Yes, and I just don't have the time or attention for that. I don't have it. Anyway, so bottom line is it's just frustrating. So now
I think you said it, but so now we have to have two lockboxes.
I do. I mean, I may end up switching to Sentry Key when I have time that I can deal with that, because literally I have lockboxes all over the place, and it would take so much time and energy. And by the way, you have to swap them out. So it's not like I can go get the Sentry lock boxes and then take them, swap them out with the Supra, and then bring them back. It's like I have to go get the Supra, take it, switch it, go back, reinstall. It's just a hot mess. So anyway, so that's just my thing. So in other words, they're costing realtors. So when you think about realtors, you wonder, well, gosh, they make a lot of money, or do they make a lot of money? There are so many things that you have to pay for. And the lock boxes is a wonderful service, and happy to oblige, happy to pay for that membership. Not a problem. It's not uber expensive. But if I have to buy, so I had Supra, I was good. I would do a coded one if I needed it. Now I have to have Supra, still paying for that service and the lock boxes. Now I have coded lock boxes. Again, not that expensive, but it's the principle of the thing. But now I have to have a coded where I have a Supra, because if there's a realtor that only has Sentry Key, they can't get into the Supra. So I have to have another means of access point for them. And in addition, I have to pay for the Sentry Key so that I can open up any other realtors that may be using that. So I'm paying for a service I don't need and extra lock boxes, all because they switched.
And even if you switch to Sentry Key,
I would still have to do it.
You still have to have both, because some people will have Supra.
Only Supra. So it's like, it absolutely is the best. Well, with the Sentry Key, though, you give them a code so they can get in.
Yeah.
It's still a hot mess. So I'm venting now. I apologize. I love my job. I love my job. I love my job. Fanny has a question. Fanny Wilkes.
And then Speak has a question.
Right, Fanny, what are some of the best upgrades we could do? Hold on, I get glasses. What are some of the best upgrades we could make our house to improve that it will sell in the area? Custom closets, accent walls, LVP upstairs versus carpet replacement. So here's my hair again. So honestly, Fanny, obviously this is going to depend on everybody's home specifically, right? So, and this is, you know, some people live in an area where everything around them is older. And so your things that you should do to upgrade or update your home might be different from what this person needs to do. But generally speaking, if you're going to prep your home for sale, here's a couple of tips. Number one is make sure that you do a thorough walk of your house and make sure that all of your light bulbs are in. I'm giving you basic things, okay? Make sure all light bulbs are working. Yes, even in that 2-story or foyer that you haven't had light up in 3 years, somehow get that one replaced. New light bulbs. Make sure that you, touch up that landscaping. Make sure that you go around the house and fill in any dents, dings in the holes or in the walls. Maybe give a fresh coat of paint on the baseboards, doors, and trim, depending on how worn and loved they are. Making things crisp and clean is going to really do wonders. Cleaning the floor, cleaning the grout. But if it's about upgrades to the home, then in my opinion, having a nice upgraded kitchen package, again, I don't know if that's stuff that if it's already, like if you're like, I'm not remodeling my whole kitchen for this, just make sure you have good appliances then that are at working condition and make sure that those convey. I would say, honestly, I would rather have a home that is freshly painted with a nice neutral paint than I would doing a wood trim treatment on the wall for the sake of doing it to sell. Do anything you want to do to your home if you're going to be living in it and you're going to be the one enjoying it. But I don't know that there's anything you necessarily need to do. If carpets are nasty, then you just have to think about your house. Well, do you want to replace the carpet? Is somebody going to come in and replace all the flooring? In which case, don't waste your time replacing carpet that they're just going to pull back out too. So it really is a case-by-case basis. But Fanny, if you want to send me some pictures of your house, show me kind of what you're thinking. I'll give you some ideas specific to yours. But, really as a general rule of thumb, what I tell this person may not be the same thing for this person. But send me some pictures and I'll help you.
Would you say maybe, fix flaws and defects first?
Yes.
Rather than upgrading something and leaving dingy, dirty carpet.
Yes.
Fix the flaws first.
Yes. Like, for instance, this is what I'm putting together a little list for people. A lot of people are hesitant to do a pre-listing inspection. I always tell people it's up to you. The positive that is that if you do a pre-listing inspection, you're going to know what some of those items are that you may need to address, whether it's by fixing them, repairing them, replacing them, or do we need to make an adjustment in our pricing, or do we maybe want to provide a concession to the seller or the buyer so that they can take care of that later. That's going to be, again, case by case basis. But a couple of things that you can definitely do yourself. Get someone to come in and do a full service on your AC and heater, depending on where you live. Get those big mechanical elements of your home cleaned and serviced so that it doesn't give anybody else doing an inspection down the road once you get your buyer like, wow, that AC unit hasn't been cleaned in a long time, or there's suspected mold growth, because that's always a line item on every inspection report. Get that done so that you'll thank yourself later when that inspection report comes in. But yes, to Eric's point, anything that is a big, obvious cosmetic or aesthetic item that's relatively easy to fix, then make sure that things look crisp and clean. When things look dirty and dingy and broken, that's just going to give an overall impression of the property that it hasn't been well cared for. And so, yeah, I think that's probably the best thing. But send me some pictures and I'll help you with some.
Shafiq has a question. I can take it if you want. And then Daryl has a question.
All right. Shafiq says, the current weather in Florida, how badly will this affect an increase in home insurance? Will home insurance companies blacklist certain areas around the coast? Eric, you said you wanted to take
I can do it if you want.
Go for it.
Who knows? That's the big thing. So the message from the storm Helene, I think, is going to be... So we have a governor who doesn't actually allow governmentally to use the words climate change. Not only use those words. Whatever is happening, we just had a Category 4 hurricane that affected the state of North Carolina coming through Florida. So yes, I think it may affect insurance rates in Florida, although this hurricane season has been very mild for Florida, really, when you consider kind of everything, some of the years we've had. But when you consider that Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina have all had that effect, I think we need to expand our feelings about property insurance and flood insurance
agreed.
Well beyond Florida at this point, We always say, we're protected here in Orlando because even a Category 4 hurricane, turning the corner would be a tropical storm by the time it got here because the land kind of does it. In this case, it was just the vast amount of water that got pushed because that storm moved so fast. It pushed the water so fast. But if you live anywhere along the East Coast or along the Southern coast, at this point, you've got to be thinking, hey, we may get some things. What the way you're going to be able to tell, Shafiq, is if some insurance companies go bankrupt, that's what tends to do it, is other companies then look at it and go, it's not worth it to insure them anymore. And then we have to go to state funding and those kind of things. And it's a big mess. Mm-hmm. So the answer is, but we'll see. So Daryl has a question too.
Yes, Daryl's question is, serious question. What is the downside of a 55 plus community? I can think of many positive sides, but in your experience, what is something we should be very mindful of? Daryl, first of all, love you, Daryl. That's a fantastic question. And that is one of when I talk to clients who are interested in 55 plus communities, we have a long talk about what it is that they're expecting out of the 55 plus communities. Because as you mentioned, plenty of positives, right? Almost always gated, although not always, but in most cases gated. So that gives them an extra sense of security. And crazy amenities, meaning in a good way, right? Usually lots of exorbitant amenity centers, excuse me, activities and things like that. So lots of positives, lots of ways that you can sell a 55 plus community. But some of the negatives or the things that you should be mindful of is that it does have a lot of restrictions on it. Not only does it have the age restriction of 55 or better, but it also can be a problem if, let's just say, you've got grandkids that come and spend an extended period of time with you, or you just don't have the ability to kind of not rent your house out, but to have someone come live in an extra room of your house because they're going through something and they're going to come hang out with you for a while. Or there's just a number of reasons where other people can't just be in your home for extended periods of time. Obviously, you can have grandkids visit, and you can have friends visit, and they can stay at your home, but it does affect a little bit more of the usability of your home for you to do what you want for your family and friends. The other part of it, which to me I think is one of the bigger items, is what happens when you go to sell the home. And in that case, we've really reduced our demographic of buyers out there. Now, funny thing, and this is true, a lot of the clients that I have, and I've had a lot that buy in 55 plus communities, whenever I broach that question, I'll say, well, the biggest thing is, when you go to sell it. And in every case, that'll be my kid's problem. So it's funny because they're very nonchalant about, when I am no longer 55 or better, but I am 55 better and now beyond our time here on earth, that a family member will be the one responsible for selling the property. But in all seriousness, it is something to consider, because when we go to sell it, now we've eliminated a huge demographic age-wise. Even in the demographic that we are focused on, the 55 and older community, not all of the 55 and older people want to live in a 55 plus community. So now we take that little bubble, we take out some of them. Of those 55 plus that want to buy into 55 plus community, how many of them want to be in your area? Then you pull those out. How many in that area want to be in your community? Pull them out. How many of those want to be in a floor plan like yours? Pull them out. How many of those want to be in the area where your house is, like your home, and like your finishes on the inside and the price, they can afford it? You've really drastically reduced the buyer pool for your home. Now, that is not to say don't explore 55 plus communities at all, because I love them. I think the benefits far outweigh any of the potential issues later. And there's always going to be a turnover. A lot of people use the 55 plus communities here. A lot of them use them as a second home or a vacation home. They don't even use it full time, but they like to be close to Disney.
I have one.
You go ahead.
It seems like sometimes it's some people are like, we really want a swimming pool, and they turn around and go, we never use our swimming pool.
Yeah.
You're paying for all those amenities. The HOA fees and sometimes a CDD fee can be $400 a month. They can be very expensive.
Right.
So really think to yourself, am I really going to use the amenities,
That's it.
all the meetings, the activities, all those things? Because if you're not, you're paying $400 a month for something you're not using.
Yep, we say
and so
that
a lot
all
of
the
people
time.
go, What am I doing here? It's
that's what I asked them. I'm like, are you that person? Are you and I say social butterfly, and that's not a bad thing, by the way, not at all. But are you that person that just wants to be out? You want to be part of the book club. You want to be part of the poker club. You want to be part of the swim classes in the morning and do your jazzercise and do arts and crafts or the ballroom dancing or the cooking classes, or you're going to go on the outings to St. Augustine. Guys, it is an amazing lifestyle in these 55 plus communities. It's flippin' fantastic, but it's not for everybody. So if you are a person like Eric and I, where when it's just us, we just want to be nestled in. I don't want to go to the big pool where everybody is. I don't want to do all the classes. That's just not who I am. I would not be reaping the benefit of the HOA fee. I'm paying for things that I'm not utilizing. One of the big things is the lawn maintenance. Everyone says that one all the time. They're like, yeah, but lawn maintenance. That is fantastic. But you know what else? There are other non-55 plus communities like Waterley that also provide lawn maintenance. So if you're looking for just lawn maintenance, by the way, it's included in your HOA fee. But the other thing you could do is, hire a lawn maintenance crew. But it is nice when the HOA includes it, because then you never have to worry about, did they show up? And if they do, or they didn't, then that's not your fault. But so Daryl, I would say the negatives are really high HOA fees. And if you're not going to utilize the significance of them, what that's getting you, that would be a cause for concern. A little bit harder to resell down the road, but that may not be something that you want to stress yourself over right now, because you want the benefits of it.
Pam Hickman had a comment about it.
Do what?
Pam Hickman had a comment.
When we were looking, we wanted to be Del Webb. HOA fees are so high. Yeah, they really are. I mean, so for instance, and this is just an example, because I say this. I mean, again, I know I'm a broken record, especially if you're not only someone who watches me here, but then we get together and we're on the phone. Say it all the time. My two examples are, you've got your 55 plus community with your HOA that is going to be anywhere from like $400 to $500 a month. It is gated, yes. Guard gated, which means, it's not just like a clicker, but like a guard there. So it's a little bit more, safety feeling. But you have these great amenities and you have the lawn maintenance included. And then I say, well, you could also buy at Waterley, where you can get almost the same kind of a home. Big, large community. There's not the age demographic. So there are kids, there are schools, you've got young people, old people, everybody in between. And you have your lawn maintenance included, but your HOA fee is half of that. So you could still live in a community that's giving you crazy awesome amenities, multiple pools, no lawn maintenance is included in the HOA, but you're doing that for half the price of what it would be for a 55 plus community. But the main thing is kids. Do you like kids? Do you not like kids? Are you like, I'm retired, I want it quiet, like get off my lawn type of person?
Well, and I'll say,
that's okay.
At Waterley, when school gets out, especially the middle school and the high school, there are electric scooters all up and down the road.
Yeah, it's very stressful.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, fair point. But at any rate, so Daryl, if you have anyone that's looking to move, you just let me know. I think I know who he's talking about. Anyway, any other questions in there?
No, I think you're good. You got what you're watching. You got wishes, you got cups.
Yep. Okay, so let's do wishes, because I think we didn't do it last week. Okay, so some of these we mentioned when they first contracted. Now we're congratulating them because they closed. So Suzanne and Ross, Stephen and Luana, and Steve and Lisa all closed on their new beautiful home. So we are so excited for them. I don't think we have any more on the second page of it, right?
But by the way, Lisa texted us and said she's going to Costco today. Do we need anything?
Oh, Lisa.
How sweet are people?
People are so sweet. No, we're good. I have to renew my Costco membership, by the way. But real quick, I wanted to know, because Deb, thank you. This is very good to know. Yes. So a lot of the 55 plus HOA communities also include internet and cable. So when you look at that, there are definitely some advantages there as to things that are included that you don't have to pay an additional monthly installment for. So thank you, Deb, for reminding me about that. But yeah, so some of those 55 plus communities do include that as well. Okay. All right. What else did I have? I had wishes. I had what I'm watching. Well, this is not exciting, but I'll push it in. Okay, so I've been watching a lot of things. In fact, since I started this, I haven't finished it because I started to get a little bit bored with it. And then I realized that there's another documentary that's coming out in October that I don't know. Anyway, but so I was watching this. So another true story in the chaos of our life. Our son from college sent me a message one day and said, could you give us the Netflix login? And so, I don't know, whatever, they send you the little approval thing. I clicked the button, yes, so he could watch whatever I did, took our account and it now gave it to him. And so now I wasn't able to get Netflix on some of our TVs. I don't know how to do that stuff. It's a hot mess. So we've had to restart a new account over here. So I don't have my typical feed of what I like and don't like. So anyway, Monsters came up and I'm like, all right, well, I'll watch this. I did watch the first several episodes and I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then I'm like, I don't remember that happening, but I don't remember much about it. And now I'm kind of at the point of, is it all a big lie? Like, I don't know. It's like all of the molestation, which really kind of was tugging at my heart. And now I'm hearing that was a big lie. Anyway, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to finish it, to be frank.
The moral of the story is always, don't abuse your kids, don't kill your parents.
Yeah, right? That's good. Anyway, all right, last one, Eric. You said, what was it? Oh, the cup. Cup. Okay, so our cup is very, very full, and this is because of you guys. We have said it many, many, many times, but we really are, I'm not crying on this one, we are overwhelmed with, first of all, what our little community is. I know it's the same handful of people that watch and chat, but you have no idea how important you are to our story, I'm not going to do it, to our day-to-day, and especially when we are going through some personal struggles and obviously Eric's health issues that is kind of wearing down on us and affecting things so deeply. To have so many of you sending messages, and again, we don't need or want anything. The messages are fabulous. But, people are at our door. I mean, the Julianas, come on. It was not just a mug, guys. We're talking 2 giant things of fresh chicken noodle soup, lots of bone broth pouches, care packages for Eric, for myself, with candles and socks and slippers. And absolutely above and beyond. We've got people sending us beautiful books and flowers and some samples of some other types of like liquid nourishment, protein shakes, protein powders.
This is not a request for you to send us things, by the way.
No, it's not. It's not.
In fact, it makes us feel wonderful. It makes us feel bad, too. Everyone we know has a juice.
Yeah.
like everyone has a juice. There's no way we can sort through all the juices. So my boy Daryl sent me a juice first day.
Daryl.
Been taking that juice here and there. Appreciate it.
Daryl, I have to tell you, Daryl said, the cherry one is pretty good.
He's like, your cherry one tastes pretty good. Daryl, my brother, that is nasty. That stuff is nasty. Oh my goodness.
But it's okay. Eric is trying. He's trying.
Doing my best.
So, but we do appreciate it.
Just mostly,
yeah.
So our whole thing, this whole time with Coffee Time and the videos and stuff that we do, Amy's business for 10 years now has been based on love, and people think that that's a stupid business plan. People have laughed at her to her face. Mm-hmm. That we said, well, we're going to design a business around love and just care about people and try to help them best we can.
Don't do
my
it.
Turn.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Turns out it was a pretty good business plan. Also turns out it comes around.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm going to shut up. But
right, and then he leaves me crying.
We love you.
Yes,
so,
we do.
And
we do.
It's a Jerry Maguire was on last night. We live in a cynical world filled with cynical people. I forget how the memo goes. We do live in a cynical world, and so to say we love you, people find it strange. Mm-hmm. For you to say you love us, people find it strange. We don't find it strange. Mm-hmm. No. We love you sincerely. I hope you can feel it. Because we feel it right back. So thanks. Goodbye. Now, Amy, you cry. I'm going to bed.
Great. Thanks. Anyway, but yes, we are grateful to you for all of the times when none of this craziness was going on, just joining us on Monday mornings. Remember the character tournament, like all the fun stuff that we have, all real estate related, got a little bit of home life happening, reality show, the girls having babies, being pregnant, having babies. We didn't send you baby updates, but oh my God, they're so cute. And just, you really are a part of our extended family. And, we're so grateful. So thank you. We promise we'll continue to keep you updated as things go on. Hopefully next week we'll have an update. We have an appointment for Eric on Friday afternoon, so you have to wait another whole week this week. But hopefully we'll have some sort of course of action. So again, we always say, everything is bad timing, but the timing could have been worse in other ways. So we're going to take these little wins when we get them. And yes, it sucked to have waited, I said a bad word, sucked, that we're not going to the Mayo Clinic because that's kind of where we felt like we needed to go. But the challenge of being in Jacksonville was going to be a little bit more difficult. So the fact that things happened the way they did, and now we'll be in Orlando, we're going to find those little bright moments and that's a lot more convenient. So with that, I have work to do today, my friends. I have to get to a pre-drywall meeting. I have to do a couple phone calls and get some things done, but we absolutely love you guys. We appreciate your friendship, your following us, your, just giving us all that love. We feel it, and we want you to feel it right back. So with that note, I will say, as always, please remember to stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you. We are so grateful for you. Happy house hunting, guys. We'll see you next week. Fingers crossed.